This is an interesting little setup that you have here.
Yes, it's like...
As is that, an interesting setup.
Yes.
What's that thing called again?
This is a glass, a kwak glass.
Kwak.
It's a Belgian beer.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's Rugby World Cup Eve.
Yes.
Happy Rugby World Cup Eve to you and your family.
What do we say? Hello and welcome.
Hello and welcome. Please
Don't stop subscribing.
Yes.
Yeah. Don't stop subscribing. Not going to do that. That's silly. Yes, tomorrow. Cannot believe it.
One more sleep. I won't be able to sleep.
Yes,
I'm going to lie awake tonight, thinking about permutations, think about...
so difficult to figure out what's going to happen.
Yeah, who's going to win between France and New Zealand?
I don't know. I looked at the France team, and I must confess there were quite a few names that I have seen before, but that I don't really know well. That I can't say that I've seen them play. The back line less so, with Fiku and Peno and Ramos and Villiers and obviously Jalibert and Dupont, but with the front row and those oaks, sort of when you told me it's that guy,
that Antonio
the
guy,
Pacific guy.
Antonio guy was at the previous World Cup.
Yeah, then I sort of okay, that guy. Yeah.
The funny thing is, I mean, we played France in November last year, and then prior to that it was like 2018. So you completely...
Yes.
I mean, you watch a little bit of Six Nations, and then...
Yeah.
But I think the main name there, obviously Dupont. Everyone is raving about him being like the Dan Carter of our time, basically, as in being the best player of our time, of this era.
Yeah, a potential all-time great.
Yes.
It's a bit early to say that, but definitely the most important cog in their team. I think after Ntamak obviously is out now. Yeah, and they lost Dante as well.
Dante, but it's just for the first game. Willem's completely out of the World Cup.
Completely out.
On New Zealand's side, okay. Well, do you want to chat about New Zealand quickly? It's pretty much.
Yeah, Lomax is out.
Yeah.
Geordie Barrett is out.
Obviously,
that brought Papa Li'i in, who's been on the bench. That's the one thing that they've sort of trying to figure out.
Well, they're trying to fill the gap of
Shannon Frizzell, who's also out for the first few games, I imagine.
Yeah, so I think, what we've seen of Papa Lee, he's like...
No,
hard.
he's good.
He brings that physical element.
Yeah, he's a big, tall unit, and a typical, very, very skillful New Zealand player.
Yeah.
And then, obviously, Sam Cane will be the fetcher. And
obviously Artie's there.
Whitelock's one of the best. Whitelock's there. So pretty much the best team that they could put on the field
on the day.
Interesting 5-3 split. Interesting for us. For the All Blacks.
By the way, we're using charcoal here, so it's not that the fire went out. It's
an interesting little kiddie's braai. There you go. There's a last little go. So so a little bit disruptive. The guys that are out. Lomax has the big cut on his. That obviously.
I actually don't know. Yeah, is he coming back?
Yes, I'm not sure. I think they're sort of just trying to nurse him back. Well, that looked bad. Cut. Yeah. But when I think about a match like that, I try and visualize it. I try and visualize the Anton Leonard-Brown against Gail Fiku. I think Fiku is actually on the outside centre, but I try and visualize player versus player and try and think who's better, and try and think of the scrums and the set piece and this and that. And I really can't, with the crowd being an extra man and just home ground advantage and this and that. I really can't say who I think is going to win the game.
Yeah, I think that Geordie Barrett has had a very good season at inside centre.
Yes. Yeah.
So to bring in Anton Leonard-Brown, who, he's an experienced player, but I never really rated him that highly. But at the same time, the French inside centre is also injured. So
fairly unknown.
So that matchup is going to be interesting to watch, and it creates a little bit of uncertainty there.
Yeah.
I think that, from a fly-off perspective, Moanga I mean,
he's right up there.
He's up there. He's like, he's amazing. He's got speed. He's got a great pass. He kicks everything over.
Kicks everything. Great vision.
Yeah. So I mean, everyone raves about Jalibert.
Is it still a case? I think under Galtier, they've sort of lost that tag of we do not know which France is going to show up.
No, I think they're pretty solid.
I think that they've sort of
three under 20 championships in a row.
Yes. Yeah.
I mean, those guys know how to win championships.
So Galtier sort of gotten rid of that whole thing where they can be absolutely terrible and lose to Italy.
They can be terrible, but they don't lose to Italy.
No.
You know, I mean, in the Six Nations, Italy came close to beating them.
Yeah.
But the good teams, when they play badly, they still know how to win.
Yes.
And I think that's what France does.
Yeah.
They had a bit of a...
that makes them extremely scary, is that Galtier has managed to get that best out of them.
Yes.
And to bring that continuity, that there's not that much chopping and changing, not as much as it was in the past.
Yeah. In our predictions video, we said, you said France.
I said France.
Said the All Blacks.
No. I still think, we're not... It's sort of, when we look at a World Cup, you don't think of that home ground advantage, but it will be a factor.
Yeah.
And for a French team that had one of the best runs in their history, this must be their biggest chance to win the opening game against one of the major players in world rugby.
The scary thing for me is, I always think back to 2011, watching Ireland play Australia in the pool game and beating Australia and being like, yes, like being like so happy because it was like this awesome upset, etc. And then us losing to Australia in the quarterfinal. I'm looking at this game and I'm like, we mustn't cheer for either team, because either of those teams could eliminate us if we make it through to the quarterfinal.
Yes, we're going to play either of those teams. It's so daunting to play them.
Just watch it as a neutral.
Yeah.
Because we don't know what's going to happen in 4 weeks' time.
So I still say, I think France are going to be so charged up. They're going to come out fast. All Blacks tend to rely on a very fast start to make the game loose and to put points on the board early and rattle the opposition and make them play catch-up rugby from the start. And we've seen it in the past that if they do not manage to do that in the opening moments of the game, they actually get a bit flustered and they start chasing the game. And when the game slows down and becomes a bit more structured, they struggle to follow that structure. They like it loose. They like to get it to the wings as quickly as possible, get a line break, get it back inside, score tries out of nothing. And when that doesn't work, they start passing the ball out of the touchline and doing silly things, quick throw-ins that backfire and that sort of thing. So they're going to have to play proper test match rugby.
And can they do that without Brady Retallick, Shannon Frizzell, Geordie Barrett?
If France gets the ascendancy early on, you might see frustration coming in, and you might see cards for the All Blacks and that sort of thing. But if they can start the way we know they can, then it might have exactly the opposite effect. And if you're a proper test match team, then you can come back from being 14-0 behind. So it comes down to what's going to happen in the opening 20 minutes, I think.
What I'll say for the All Blacks, during that Twickenham game that we played them, they were so under the cosh, and we were 14-0 ahead. But at the end of that first half, they could easily have scored.
Yes.
I mean, there was a knock-on or a forward pass or something like that, which would have put them completely back into the game. So what I want to say about them is that if they do not start fast, and France gets a little bit ahead,
they can
as
come
long
back.
As they can come back, as long as they can come back and score that try that we've seen them do countless occasions previously, then they can stay. They can actually still win the game.
Like you said, they actually play very similar styles. Both of them want to play it fast. They're reliant on those moments of individual brilliance, where proper test match teams like Wales and the Springboks, Wales of past, more want to force the opposition to play at their tempo.
Yeah.
But this is going to be, I can't wait.
I can't go, I'm not gonna
I've never been that excited about a neutral game.
Yes.
Cheers.